They'll be like, who is that?
The mighty powerful Oz.
All right, we're starting. Because I'm in
Do
charge.
not look at the man behind the other man.
Hi.
That sounded weird.
Yeah, don't look at the man behind the other man. Welcome to Game Rushmore. This is the live stream version of Game Rushmore. Everybody stop looking at the computer.
We're supposed to look at the
you
camera?
look at the camera.
Oh, I didn't know there was a camera on both.
We're professionals.
It's that camera.
I'm an uneducated professional.
Or look at each other, or whatever, you know. Yeah, so this is the live podcast version of Game Rushmore. We're streaming for Extra Life. If you want to donate, www.extra-life.org/participant/Game Rushmore. We have a small goal. It all goes to the Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Worthy cause.
Is it?
It is.
Well, I hope so. That's what we're...
Just a modest goal of 100. I think we're a little bit shy of it right now.
So they can get out of that hospital and play games.
Sure. Yeah.
You can't, maybe you can play when you're sick, but
Yeah, you actually
you're limited to handheld.
Don't you play more games when you're sick though?
It depends.
Sometimes.
If you're hooked up to an IV or you're in, I don't know, radiation, you're not really going to be enjoying
If you're in radiation.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Like Spock in the radiation chamber.
Like if you're in northern Japan and there's a lot of radiation going around, you're not going to be enjoying video
If you're
games.
in Nagasaki.
Whose fault is that?
Nagasaki has no radiation.
I did at one point.
Oh, jeez.
Off topic. Hi. Let's start that again. Welcome to Game Rushmore, where we don't talk about nuclear winners.
Can they watch the TV? Can they see what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the corner.
displaying.
That's what they see right there.
Oh, okay. You can't see that far.
He needs glasses. My name's Josh. I'm going to be hosting, and to my right,
Mike.
Aaron.
Brandon.
Brandon.
Or Game Rushmore.
Yep, Game Rushmore. Aaron's going to be playing a video game.
Wait, I have to say, the way Brandon is sitting, it looks like there's like somebody behind him, like grabbing his...
The chair.
There we go. No, it looks like you have arms.
Doesn't matter.
No, it just looks funny.
That's fine if Brandon doesn't have arms.
It's funny.
Brandon doesn't have arms.
Then I can't play games.
Just looks like someone
Yes,
was
you
fighting
can.
him from
They have
behind.
special controllers and everything. Like you blow into a tube and you can play games.
Sounds
It's a
horrible.
thing. I don't know. People get by. People get by. Aaron's going to be playing a game just because we're on Twitch and you're supposed to be doing that. Although you could just do a podcast without playing a video game.
That's true.
Yeah, but what fun is that?
It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
It's
I don't
fun for
know.
you because you're playing.
Yeah.
You guys get to watch me play.
Yeah.
This is
If
like-
you're listening to this episode on iTunes, the audio is going to be weird because we're getting this from a camera and not from our fantastic, expensive. It's not that expensive actually, but our other normal equipment.
Because Josh
Don't
couldn't
Don't
figure out
pull
how
back
to
the
get it to work.
curtain, man.
Well, they're going to figure it out anyway. So I guess let's start with games. Who played games this week?
I played a lot of games.
Yeah.
I'm playing them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What is this game, Aaron?
Mega Man X.
What? Yeah.
X marks
What
the
is
spot.
this game? I've never seen it.
Mega Man
What is
X
this? Who is
for
this blue character?
The Super Nintendo. Oh my gosh.
Is he the titular Mega Man?
His name is X.
Oh. It's kind of stupid.
But you get called Mega Man X. No one can really decide what his name is.
Okay.
This is one of your-
Is this Mega Man 10?
No.
Oh.
No. it's-
Mega.
They made Mega Man 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it was for Xbox 360 and PS4.
Yeah,
Or
PS3.
PS3. And they made it retro graphics, like Mega Man 9. You remember that, Brandon?
Do you remember
Yes.
retro graphics?
Yeah.
I do.
You remember retro graphics, Brandon?
Excellent.
Back in the day?
I remember.
But, man, so I remember when this game came out, I was super excited because Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3, easily one of my favorite games. They are, Mega Man 2 is definitely my
Yeah.
favorite Nintendo game of all time.
So wait, Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, and then you skipped like 4 Mega Man.
Yeah, I didn't play 4, 5, or 6 because those came out around the same time as the Super Nintendo did, so I kind of graduated from the 8-bit era. But when I remember seeing previews for this and just being like, holy crap, man, they're coming out with a new Mega Man for Super Nintendo, and I saved up
Yeah.
all my money that I worked at the golf. I used to pick up golf balls on a golf ball range.
Mm-hmm.
And I saved up all my money, and this
Oh,
is like
your
1990s
Yeah.
money. So this is a lot of money. And this
1990s money.
Yeah, it was like
Currency
like
back then was
it was like a $70
Just the same
game.
as our current
Yeah,
currency.
pretty much. But yeah, it was cool because it's pretty different than the traditional Mega Mans on the Nintendo. Like, it actually rewards. There's a lot more exploration, and there's a lot more like rewards for it.
Uh-huh.
And like, you actually increase your life bar. But one of the cool things is that there was an Easter egg in the game where you found like a hologram projection of Dr. Light, and he gave you a Hadouken
Mm-hmm.
From Street Fighter.
from Street Fighter, like Ryu's Hadouken, and it one shot killed everything. And you actually had to do the move, the quarter circle with the attack,
Uh-huh.
and then Mega Man went Hadouken through this Hadouken, one shot every boss. It's freaking awesome.
Is it awesome?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
isn't it?
No, it's pretty great.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
ruin the point of the game or anything.
No. And Dr. Light, when you discover him in this form, he's actually wearing Ryu's karate gi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's cool. But Aaron, this is like, as long as I've known you, this is like one of your favorite games.
Yep. Totally.
So what is it about it that you like so much?
Well, it's definitely my favorite Mega Man game.
Is it the penguin?
He's pretty fun boss to fight.
I enjoy the penguin.
Storm Eagle stage is pretty rad.
I just like penguins in general.
It has awesome music.
Because they're monogamous.
Yeah, that's the reason I like penguins.
You got weird reasons for liking it, man.
It's actually, they're only monogamous, and then the next season comes around and they pick a new mate.
So they're not monogamous.
So they're not monogamous.
They always say, oh, well, the penguin, they choose one mate for life. That's not really true.
They choose
It's
one
more like
mate
one mate
for
per
1 year.
season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
It's like moving
it's like Kim
on.
Kardashian.
What?
All right.
You know, my first Mega Man was Mega Man 3D. It was pretty bad.
But-
It was
oh,
that's the first Mega Man you played?
That was the first Mega Man I owned, I should say.
No, but not played.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I mean, I had friends that had Mega Man, but I never owned it myself. But, you know what I've been playing is I've been playing The Longest Journey, Dreamfall chapters. Which
Oh,
I've
the
been really
new one.
excited about. Yeah.
Oh, Dreamfall actually came out.
Yes.
This is the episodic ones.
This is episodic. I have a few gripes with it though. Number one, the language in it is very bad. Lots of cursing.
Really?
Yeah. Which is actually kind of odd because I don't remember the first two. The first two I'd recommend. Longest Journey for the PC and then Dreamfall for the Xbox, and then now you can get it for the PC.
And to back up, these are the Myst type games.
Yeah, they're like adventure games, right?
This type. No.
I don't know.
You silly man. No.
Oh, excuse me.
Brandon about to school you, son.
Yeah, okay.
No, this is a whole different thing. No, this is point and click adventure.
All right.
Story driven. You know, what's the Sam and Max
Yeah.
sort of
Okay.
thing, but
Mhm.
you have this guy, I think he's Norwegian, Ragnar Turnquist. He wrote Longest Journey, and then you know I said on a previous podcast that he was told to do. I mean, he was doing Conan, the online game, and then they did Secret World. But we finally got funding to finish Longest Journey. Two things three things I didn't really like about it. Number one was the excessive cursing, because that's my thing. I can really turn me off is cursing. If it's one or two words, it's fine. But this, I definitely wouldn't recommend it for that. Number two, you start off, like I'm playing this on my PC, and which I think is the only system you can play it on. I enter the area, and I don't have to tweak any graphics, no graphical settings. It looks great. And of course, it's just an adventure game, so you're not really moving. It's not fast-paced. And then I play about 30 minutes, and I go into this big city, and I have to spend the next half hour tweaking my graphics. Because it's just, I mean, it's very atmospheric, and it looks cool, but there's just a lot going on in the background. So I don't like when games do that, especially when I'm playing on a PC. I like them to be consistent.
Where were you before you hit into the city?
You're in the dream world. It's actually called story time.
Uh-huh.
So, whatever. It's called story time, and
Uh-huh.
because I don't want to spoil anything from the previous ones, but she is in this place, and then she wakes up, and then when she wakes up, it's in the distant future, and it's sci-fi. and so there's a lot going on, and it's really good. It very creative. It looks great, but it was chugging so much, and I wish it started off that way, so I can kind of get all that tweaking aside and just get into the game, because it kind of tore me away from that. Secondly, I don't like the fact that it's episodic. Man, I think I'm almost done, I think, with this one, because it only has the first couple chapters and an interlude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat it, and then I'm gonna wait, I think, till they're all out. I bought the whole thing. I think that's all you can do is buy it.
Just buy the pass or whatever.
Yeah, the season pass. So, man, come on. Why can't you just give it all out?
Yeah, what's the point of making it episodic if you have to buy the season pass anyway?
I'm sure it's probably a concession he had to make because, it's not like Dreamfall was a huge bestseller or anything, and this is probably the only way that he could get it out to people in the way that...
Look, for the past 10 years, I've heard nothing but Dreamfall, constantly. It's the only game I've ever seen advertised.
Yeah. But, man, that guy, Ragnar, if you're making video games, talking to you, and it's good, and you invest in the story, complete it all in one little storyline. And if there's a sequel, have it follow shortly thereafter. Please. I mean, it left on such a big cliffhanger, waited years, and now I've got to wait additional. I'm just getting little snippets. Here you go.
You wanted more, and then all of a sudden you have to
man,
wait even longer.
You should be happy
No,
that you got it at all, though.
I don't want more. I want closure. I just want the story to end. And now I'm just I'm already done with it. I'm ready to move on. I mean,
you're gonna put this part of your life behind you?
Well, no, I'm gonna wait till they're all out, I think.
All right.
And then you won't be done.
Then I'm gonna be done.
And then that's like Kentucky Route Zero. That came out in episodes.
Well, you're still waiting for this.
I know. And that one, it was like a year between episode 1 and episode 2. And then like 2 years between two, it was like a couple months between the first two, and it just keeps getting longer and longer. And there's only one more chapter, I think. There's only 5 chapters, but I'm on the 4th, and it's like,
At least you knew what you were getting into.
I guess.
You knew it was episodic.
I didn't know what I was getting into. I mean, Kentucky Route Zero is just the most esoteric game I've ever played, where there is just... There's one point where you're walking through trees, and the one person that you control is the only one that's moving. And as you go through the trees, they kind of slide past each other, and they reveal scenes in the future that you can then just move forward and move backwards to see the different scenes in the future and the past.
That's cool.
It's a ridiculous game. It is a fantastic, ridiculous game that won't finish for 3 more years or something.
Well, I'll tell you this. Longest Journey, that was a complete game. It was good, story driven. This game, Dreamfall, I bought it for the Xbox. I bought a game, people that were going out to buy this game were probably thinking, I want a game with a good story. But if you're buying something that's, your first reason is for a story, hold on, let's watch Aaron die.
No.
Oh, okay.
This one's for you, Twitch.
Yeah. Now I lost my thought.
That's alright.
No,
Yeah, episodic gaming is not your forte, is what you're saying. Not a fan.
I don't mind it if I know it going in, but if I'm gonna play it mainly for the story, I'm gonna wait till they're all out. Who wants to invest in a story
That makes sense.
and not be? I mean, if it was an action game and it was episodic, at least you're getting some of it. But this is, you're in it for the story pretty much.
I played Wolf Among Us Season 1.
Yeah.
Pretty much all in a row.
Yeah.
'Cause I got caught up right before the last episode came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a really cool experience. Enjoyed the story, but I don't know how I would have felt if it was, strung out as much as it was.
This is how I have been feeling for the last 7 years for Half-Life.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
You want
wait
to
for
talk
that
about
second
being
episode or
frustrated?
something?
Yeah, because the whole thing was oh, you're going to get a new Half-Life every 6 months, and then episode 1 comes out, and Valve is like, well, maybe it'll just be every year. And then it was a year. Yeah, it took a year before episode 2 came out, and episode 2 came out in 07. Nothing ever since. And Half-Life 2 came out in 2004. And it's just, yeah, talk about being frustrated. I don't think we'll ever get Half-Life episode 3.
That's fine. I've never played Half-Life
Oh my gosh.
at all.
Oh my god.
My goodness. Just get out.
Well,
Can't have a-
what else I've been
Yeah, that's
playing?
true.
I played just, so we can move on from me. I played Nephilim Rift.
Flem Rift.
Flem Rift.
Diablo?
Yes. Diablo
Yeah,
3.
played some of
Got
that.
some mad loots in that shop.
Just played a game full of spit. Flem Rift.
Okay,
It's a
John.
rift of Flem.
Nephilim. But also finished Shadows of Mordor.
Oh, you finished.
Not finished. I did everything you can do in that game as far as the quests.
How long did that take you overall?
So 100%. Well, I did do a lot of avenging. I avenged my buddy Dave a few times, and a few others. And I just was messing around with the Nemesis system. But at the end, after 100%, beat the game 28 hours.
Jeez. I'm at like 17 or 18 on that. I've made it to the second half, and I have to do the mission where the overall goal is to put 5 war chiefs under your control, because in the second half of the game you unlock an ability called branding, where you actually put a mark on these orcs that you fight, and they actually become your servants, and you can hit up on the D-pad and it'll actually rally them to your side and they'll fight for you. And I really feel like the second half is like really opens up the gameplay, because now, instead of just like, I'm gonna fight these captains and these war chiefs, now I can actually gain control of them, and then there's actually strategy in moving them up through the ranks and putting them as bodyguards to the war chief and that sort of thing. And there's even an achievement if you take an orc and you brand him and have him challenge a captain, and you raise him all through the ranks of war chief, and when he's a war chief, and then you kill him as a war chief, you'll actually get an achievement.
Yeah.
So, and that's actually one of the missions I have to do now, is I actually have to take a guy and raise him all the way up to captain, or to warlord. I mean, it's man, that game is so good, but man, it's like it is getting a little long in the tooth at this point. It's like 18 hours in, and I still have 40% of the story missions to go through.
Whoa.
I'm helping the dwarf do those hunting missions.
You can skim through.
Yeah,
The
that's
40% is not really so much the story; it's just all of the missions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, like you said earlier, on a previous podcast, there's only a handful of main missions.
Oh, there's 20. That's right. Yeah.
And you're already halfway through it, more than halfway.
But like those guys are so annoying. Those enemies. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me too that I'm this far into the game and I've unlocked so many abilities, and these missions are still tutorial missions. It's still like, here's how you go and get a Caragor and like write it. And it's like, really? I've been doing this for like the last 15 hours. And it's still kind of, that's all, like, you said it best when we first started talking about Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
The story missions are just tutorials.
It's pretty much, you slowly unlock all of the abilities and then, yeah.
But, I mean, as a Lord of the Rings fan, the game is fantastic.
I liked it. I mean, I liked the lore too. You kind of get to see the Dark Lord, what he looks like as an elf. Of course, it's just all creative. I mean, J.R.R. never really drew him, as far as I know,
Was he an
or
elf?
described him.
He was like an elf type being, yeah. He was like a servant. He like fell under the power of, like, I think the main devil in Lord of the Rings is Morgoth, I think. And he was corrupted by that dark power, but at one point, yeah, he was like an elf. And then he became something else as he got corrupted.
He was elfish.
I
He
think
was elf-like.
a lot of the lore you have to read the begins with an S. What book is
Yeah, the
that?
Silmarillion.
Silmarillion.
Yeah, that's where a lot and the appendices of Return of the King. or the Lord of the Rings. There's like a huge appendices that just goes into so much stuff that's never touched in the books. And that's where Shadow of Mordor actually draws a lot of that stuff, like the Wraith, and a lot of the backstory, of like the Black Gate and stuff, all comes from that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean that game is really, really good, and I'm at a point now where I have kind of a backlog, so I'm determined not to buy anything else until I finish both it and The Evil Within. So
That's a decent goal. Did you play anything else, Brandon?
I was waiting for Fantasy Life.
Uh-huh.
This is for the 3DS, level 5 game. Big level 5 fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get it because I think Persona Q is right around the corner, and I still have the longest journey. I should just call it Dreamfall chapters. So, I don't know.
So you
I
just gonna put that aside, and maybe
Yeah,
skip those.
just kind of wait it out. I think my next one may be Persona Q. I want to get that special edition still. I haven't.
Persona Q, the cutest of all the.
Have you actually pre-ordered it?
Not yet.
Oh.
I've been lazy. I haven't.
Well, hopefully you still can.
Yeah, I don't expect
All right,
there
I'm
to
gonna
be.
go
That reaction.
right now. I'm gonna go.
I don't expect there to be a lot of them. I mean, I expect that to sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's alright. I'll download it. I mean, I don't need the pre-order.
Oh, is it available for download?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but the special edition, I mean.
Yeah. What's it do? Pretty of your 3DS?
No, it's a case.
You got a case, I guess half the set of tarot cards, which I don't want, and then, well, obviously the soundtrack. That is a must for every Persona game, as you know. Soundtrack.
Is it?
Yes.
It's really good.
I mean, Persona 4 Golden at least.
3, 4. Yes.
So
Everyone had really good
not
music.
everyone then. Because what about 2
Okay. Well, I don't know.
and 1?
But the remake of 1, that soundtrack is great.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh. Never did play the remake. I just played the original PS. Cool. Aaron, what'd you play?
Mega Man X.
Mega Man X.
Mega Man X. Oh, Bayonetta 2.
Yes.
Just came out.
Yes,
We
it-
streamed it. I streamed all I played of it today on the stream today.
You're a cruel man, Aaron. So Aaron came over to the
Yeah.
house last night and left his Wii U over here. And once I noticed that, I started talking to Josh. I said to him, Aaron left his Wii U here. It's like, I'm just going to stay up all night and play Bayonetta. And then I didn't realize that Aaron had left, and I just hear from downstairs, you can't play Bayonetta 2. And I was like, dang it.
Oh, I want to save it.
So-
And you know, it comes with the original Bayonetta for the Wii U,
Game is a
which
bargain.
is freaking awesome.
Is it $60 or?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
$60. Comes with both games.
Were you playing the second one earlier?
I was playing the first one yesterday when I got it, and we were like testing the streaming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played, the first part of Bayonetta 1. Man, Bayonetta 2 so far is like
Way better.
definitely outshining it. And Bayonetta, the original, starts pretty strong. It's like a good, solid, introduction and stuff like that. But I don't know, Bayonetta 2 just seems to have like more fun.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, so we couldn't talk about it last week because our podcast got destroyed, but we talked about playing the
Destroyed it did.
Destroyed It Did, whatever, the great ether or whatever just swallowed it whole.
When we were talking, remember? It was Warner Brothers. I mean,
yeah.
we can't bleep that out yet, huh? 'Cause we
Nope.
lied.
No bleeping out.
It was,
Uncensored.
Yeah. So anyways, we had the demo at that point, and it just reminded me just how great of a character action game Bayonetta is.
Oh yeah.
Because I played the first one, but I only just played the, just once through on 360, and it's just, oh my gosh.
I don't know. I proved to Aaron today that you could play it with your eyes closed.
What were you playing on one button mode?
No?
Oh.
Aaron handed me the controller. He was like, fine, play it. And I did.
Well, anyways, it's
Should we talk about that question that was given to us because it got destroyed last time in our previous podcast about?
maybe later.
Yeah, we'll bring it up in a bit.
Okay.
But anyways, I'm excited. So this just brings up my big dilemma, which is Xbox One or Wii U.
Wii U.
Wii U. What are we playing right now?
We're playing Nintendo.
We're playing Wii U.
Yeah, we are playing Wii U.
Or I should say Aaron is. But we're watching the Wii U.
Yeah. I don't know. See,
Like Bayonetta 2, there's
what are the 3 games that are coming out for the Xbox One that you want?
Master Chief,
Yeah.
Quantum Break.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Uh-huh. 2 games.
That's 2 games.
That is 2 games.
Yeah, I know exactly, right? And I mean, I was even kind of thinking about, and Halo 5, I guess too, but that's not out for a while.
Yeah.
Trying to get up there.
But Master Chief is Master Chief, man. It's so good.
All right.
It's so good, but I know. I mean, that's where I'm at because it's like
Technically, Master Chief Collection is
it's
like
4
4 games.
Yeah, it is thousands of hours of fun.
All right.
Will you invest 1,000 hours or so?
I've invested it. I'm sure I would. I mean, with with my friend Rick and Aaron playing, yeah, and my friend Chase. Those 3. Oh yeah, man. There'd be 4 of us. We could do Halo.
Gonna get this.
Halo 3,
Gonna get this.
4-player again. That's good times.
But that's your dilemma?
That is it is a dilemma, man. But I don't know, man. Wii U, it's got so much good stuff out for it
Yeah.
already.
It's a fun machine because, people talk about games all the time and they're like, well, you need to be playing these games in order to be considered a gamer and crap like that. But like, the Wii U has a large collection of fun games.
Yeah.
Like, just fun games. We got Smash Brothers
Yeah, that's coming out.
coming out.
Mario Kart.
Smash Brothers, which you can play 8 players at once.
8 players they just announced today.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
today, it was earlier.
Right. You have Mario Kart,
Mario Kart.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is supposed to be really good.
Yeah, it is.
I
Well,
don't even know if there's a Donkey Kong game.
yeah. Well, the other Donkey Kong Country for the Wii, the original Wii, was actually freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. There's New Super Mario or 3D World.
Mm-hmm.
There's the new Zelda. There's Wind Waker,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Zelda that I've always wanted to go back to because I never finished it or even really played it.
Monster Hunter 3 free.
Well, anyways.
That's Brandon's
That's
love.
Brandon's pick. But Master Chief, man, I have so many fond memories of Halo. It's too good of a pickup is the thing, and it's such a good deal. $60 for all that, but then you have to.
What's the investment?
And then you have to pay what, $400?
Without the Kinect.
Kmart. There's a rumor Kmart is going to be having a deal
Mm-hmm.
on November 9th, where
Where if you can
It's-
find a Kmart.
well, there's one just down the road from us.
Oh, you found one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Anyways, $350 for a Xbox One.
All right, say $50.
Gamer Dogs should sell me his Xbox One.
Now Kmart, we
I know
have found
Kmart lost.
some rare gems at Kmart, like the Zelda. No, not the Zelda. The Metroid. Did you
Yeah,
find
Metroid
the-
Prime trilogy.
Yeah, brand new.
I don't
Years
know.
after it was released.
I mean,
Aaron, help me decide, considering what you did this week.
Wii U.
Well, we'll talk about what I did.
What did you do, Aaron?
What did you do?
So I started a new job. I was, I'm gonna get my last paycheck from my old job. And the way I'm gonna get paid meant that I didn't really need the last paycheck that I'm gonna get.
Uh-huh.
So I figured
Extravagance. That was the word you used when you told me about this.
so yeah, the thing about me is that I tend to try and get everything
Uh-huh.
and
Everything.
everything. Well, I mean, as far as like systems go, there's
Yeah.
always like stuff you can only play
Yeah.
on the systems, that system. So I've always wanted an Xbox One, but it's been hard to justify it after buying a PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sunset Overdrive bundle comes out next week,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a white Xbox One with Sunset Overdrive, $400.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
Sunset is.
People
looks
talking
like
about
it's
Sunset.
gonna be.
It looks
just like
fun.
it's not Sucker Punch, is it?
No, it's
Insomniac.
Insomniac, who
Yeah.
did like Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, okay, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
No, there's a good pedigree.
So yeah, people have been streaming it early, and it looks like jet grind radio
Yeah.
mixed with I don't know, third-person shooter of some kind.
Yeah, it's like Infamous with Jet Grind Radio and what was another? I don't know. It looks good. I mean, it looks.
So I just put down a pre-order.
apparently,
Said, let's go.
apparently those were like super rare too, or not rare, but limited quantity.
Well, I heard that it sold out on Amazon.
Yeah.
Can you put this Xbox One on layaway? Kmart layaway.
I don't know.
Kmart, yeah.
Yeah, Kmart.
Kmart will let you do whatever you want.
They put Super Mario 3 on layaway. Back in the
Kmart
day.
says, we need money. We don't care if you give it to us over 3 months, 4 months.
Yep. Just as long as you give us the money.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep bagging on Kmart.
It's wintertime. What gonna sell? Xbox, PS4. They pay us money. So, anyways. So what should I do, Aaron? Should
Follow
I?
your heart.
Why are you asking Aaron?
Because Aaron is a bastion of wisdom.
No, he's not.
Well, it was. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, he just spends money like it's raining.
Like it's right. The thing is last week, Aaron, in our Lost podcast, Aaron said, I want to get an Xbox One, except for the fact that I want Mike to really own a Wii U.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's still true.
If I got this Xbox One, and you got an Xbox or a Wii U,
Mm-hmm.
I would be
You'd
perfectly happy.
You'd still be a happy man.
Yes.
You'd be very proud of you, Mike.
Aw.
As a father to a son.
Yes. It's very rare that anyone's proud of me.
Don't beat yourself
I'm
up.
just kidding. So, anyways, so you're excited about the Xbox One?
I'm looking forward to it because I've definitely wanted to jump into Killer Instinct.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, that's like the one game that I'm. Do they have fight pads for that yet?
No. No, actually, yes.
Ultra.
Yeah, something's coming out. I'm pretty sure there's a Killer Instinct TE stick.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy a new stick though.
Oh, yeah.
But-
I just want like a fight pad.
We're going to bring this all the way back. Aaron is excited to buy anything.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
Aaron will
New
buy
process,
something
maybe.
and be like, this is fantastic for a week or two, a month.
No,
And he doesn't have buyer's regret, but he does just kind of throw things to the side.
that's not true.
This is extremely.
When it comes to game consoles,
Yeah, you keep them. But that's what I mean. You'd be excited if you had. I'm trying to think of a console you don't have. I can't.
TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah, if you found a TurboGrafx 16, you would be over the moon excited.
I
for
found
it.
them. I've seen them.
Did you buy one?
No, I haven't bought one.
But if you did, you'd be happy.
I mean, I think it would be cool to have one.
See?
I think it would be interesting.
Uh-huh.
You don't think that's interesting?
I mean,
I
you
would-
know me, but
Well, Atari Jaguar.
I have a Wonder Swan color. Of course, I'd find it interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too, but not enough to buy it.
It was cheap. I think I got mine for like $30.
Well, if it was cheap, I would definitely buy it.
Wonder Swan.
But
Check.
but there's
I
a
wanted
thing.
one when Final Fantasy came out.
When we're doing something like this,
Uh-huh.
it gives me it's almost like a reason to be like, we need to check out everything we can.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
And that's, I think an Xbox One is a big blind spot.
That's
Now,
true. Well, I mean, back in the early podcast, that was one of the things I was actually saying as a reason why I should get an Xbox One, is because you had the PS4 and a Wii U, but we didn't have an Xbox One. But man, I love my PS4. That's a mighty fine system.
It's
Mighty
nice.
fine.
If I wasn't on my PS3, which I haven't been on a while, but
Chat,
there's still a bunch of.
what should I get? Wii U or Xbox One? And why?
And why? In the meantime, Aaron, you play anything else?
I'm trying to think.
No.
Oh, you know what? I have played something else. Something I think is actually interesting to talk about.
All right.
And that's the other Platinum Games game that came out.
Oh,
this
yes. The not Bayonetta 2.
week. Not Bayonetta 2.
Is that what it's called? Not Bayonetta 2?
It's
My
called Legend of Korra.
Ooh,
Like the Airbender?
I heard that was real bad.
It's not.
Oh, really?
It's not real bad. I can see why people might think it's bad.
I freaking love that show.
I've never really seen the show.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen a little bit of Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Oh man.
but I think that it looks cool.
What do you do in this game?
So, Legend of Korra is a lot like Bayonetta in that it's a character action game where you
Fight with your hair.
no it's structured pretty similarly. A lot of these Platinum Games developed games
Mm-hmm.
like Metal Gear Rising or Bayonetta, you'll run around, enter an area where you have to defeat all the enemies, and you fight the enemies, and then it lets you progress. And Legend of Korra is the exact same way. And then after each battle, it'll grade you and give you like a rating and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how Legend of Korra works. But it's kind of a stripped down version of that formula,
Mm-hmm.
because as far as the graphics go, they're like pretty simple and cel shaded, and it looks all right, but it's definitely not on the level of Bayonetta or something like that.
Cell shaded like Wolf Among Us, or like worse than that?
Worse than that. But the environments are pretty sparse. Like you'll run down the street and there'll be bases on the side of the road that you can just punch and stuff comes out,
Bases.
whatever they're called. And then
It's called either one of them. You would have been correct if you had chosen one and run with it.
there's nothing else, really.
Yeah.
That's pretty like simply detailed.
Well,
But
it looks a lot like the show.
yeah, it does, and it has cutscenes. One of the problems of the show or the game is there's really no story. Like Korra, something happens to her, she like loses her bending powers, and there's like an old man, and he's like, haha, I took your powers.
Is that Energy Bender?
No, I don't think so. But she's like, I have to go
Okay.
get my powers back.
Uh-huh.
And then it just seems like she goes from place to place saying, I gotta get my powers.
So it's like when you play any superhero video game, and like you can't do everything that they can do from the beginning.
Oh yeah, it's something like that. It's like at the beginning you have all her powers.
Every Metroid game.
Yeah.
You have all her powers, and you're in this battle, and you're fighting all these spirits,
Mhm.
and then it fast forward or it goes back and shows at the beginning her
Mhm.
losing her powers, and almost the entire game you're getting your powers back one by one. Like each level you're getting another one, and so there's 4 chapters it takes to get all your powers back, and I want to say there's like 7 or 8 chapters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, you don't really have a whole lot of time when you've got all your powers to play with. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at the very end. It seems like, and it's only like 5 hours, I'd say.
How much is it?
That's the thing, is that it's $15.
Yeah, it's a downloadable
It's
game.
downloadable. I think it's totally worth it. The best part about this game is the combat, I'd say.
Well,
Because it's platinum, and it's actually, it can be kind of challenging because you'll have regular enemies that'll come at you and like they'll flash red so you know that it's coming, and you can block, and once you block and you hit their attack, if you do it the right timing, you can counter, and it like slows down time, and you hit both sticks or something up, and you'll hit the super move and knock these guys back.
So it is Bayonetta too.
It's it's similar.
All right.
But then there's guys that come in who are other vendors,
Uh-huh.
and they're a lot stronger, and they'll attack you all at once. And
I've seen some pretty cool combo videos.
yeah, I think you can do some cool stuff with it. It's definitely not as deep as far as combos go as Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising or anything like that.
What?
Josh is squelching a yawn. His eyes just go.
The eyes nobody can see right now.
Just
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
I'm gonna go back and look for that.
You couldn't see that. I was kissing you.
whatever. All right. Anyways,
So I think it's worth it. I can understand problems people have had with it, but for me, $15.
yeah, that's the thing you got. Put context to.
Yeah.
As a Chorus super fan, would I enjoy it?
Well, that's the thing, is that if you're wanting like, the core characters and like seeing them interact in ways,
Not really.
they don't. Really.
Okay.
It's
So really, it could have been.
Any action game.
It could have been anybody in that world. Well, no, because I guess she's
Only the Avatar can control all four.
Only
lanes.
the Avatar. It could have been the M. Night Shyamalan.
All right. This discussion is over.
Wait, who's hosting here? I'm hosting. I get to say M. Night
Never
Shyamalan.
bring that up again.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Avatar.
Oh my gosh, that movie.
The superior Avatar
Alright,
movie.
So let's move on, host.
Let's move
that's
on.
all I've played.
Oh my gosh.
Michael,
Yes, sir.
you've played video games.
I have played them before. Yes.
Not this week?
No, I did.
Okay.
Oh, you
Moving
want me
on.
to talk about it?
Moving on.
Okay. All right. Well, so I'm just gonna go over this game again because our last podcast was destroyed.
Uh-huh.
So I've been playing Shinji Mikami's The Evil Within.
Mhm.
So Shinji Mikami is the guy who made the Resident Evil 1 and 4 and Vanquish and all these other awesome games that we all enjoy.
God Hand.
God Hand, which is that game cracks me up. 3.0 on IGN. And
Why do you know the score?
because it's infamous.
Infamous.
Oh, okay.
It's infamous. So it is a third-person shooter survival horror game. It's on the surface, it's very similar to Resident Evil 4. It's got the over-the-shoulder cam. You zoom in with your gun and you shoot specific body parts of the enemies and they react. And you run around these environments and you collect things and upgrade your character. But really what it is it's Shinji Mikami's greatest hits. It's kind of got like a little flavor of a lot of his games, and definitely of Resident Evil 1 and 4. And it's kind of a hard game to get into because the first couple chapters are very different from really what the rest of the game is.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first chapter, you wake up and you're in like this meat locker and there's all these like bodies hanging from the ceiling and you have no weapons and there's a guy with a chainsaw and he's chasing you, and it's a lot like Outlast or those type of games where the only thing you can do is hide
So
and
it's
try
like
to
a
stealth
court
back.
maze.
Yeah, it's like exactly. And then eventually you get away from it, and then the second level is they give you a knife and you go around stealth guys and like hit them in the head. And the enemies are like these ridiculous like Clive Barker-ish type enemies where like axes and sticks are sticking out of their head and whatnot.
All right.
And you just stab them in the head. Just funny because it's like they have like 5 knives in their head, but your knife is the
I was
one
gonna
that
say.
is the one that does it.
It's the specific knife.
Yeah, but
Special knife.
starting with chapter 3, you're in like this village, and it really like tells you about the pace of the game, and that's also where you go to the hub, which is kind of like this mental health clinic, and it's all in black and white, and that's where you can go and sit in like this like shock therapy chair, and you can upgrade your guy, and there's just tons of different ways you can upgrade your character. And seemingly all of them are valid, so it doesn't really seem like you can screw your character up
Yeah.
in a way, which is really nice. because it's been fun reading the message boards where people are saying, I built my character this way, and this is the way to play him, and then somebody will build him completely different and say, no, this is the way you play, but it all still works.
That's nice, because usually when you have those kind of upgrade systems, you can build yourself into a corner.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Or you look at it and you're like, well, this is obviously the best way to do this.
Yeah, or like, what's it called? Deus Ex, where...
Oh, yeah, the
where it seemed like two
Cuban
different
Revolution.
people, where two different people like built the combat system and built like the leveling system.
Well, there was a totally different studio that built the bosses. So like,
so
if you were
it
doing
was-
a stealth build, the
Mhm.
bosses were completely combat focused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was literally.
Yeah.
Just
So this game
hard.
is not like that at all. You can really go kind of any way that you want, and it is really, really challenging. So it makes it really intense. So it's not a scary game like PT or Fatal Frame. It's more like Resident Evil or Dead Space, where there's just these gross things you just don't want them next to you, and there's so many of them, and you're just being overwhelmed, and they're really powerful. So it's like, the resources in the game are really scarce. There's most of the time I maybe have like two, 3 shotgun shells and like maybe 6 bullets for my gun, and that's like it. So it really rewards you and wants you to do the stealth. But if you get into a bind, it's nice that you can, kind of shoot your way out.
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to kind of describe the environment and the story of this game is every year I go to these haunted houses. And actually we all took a trip together to go to the Rob Zombie haunted house last week.
Uh-huh.
And you know how they're these kind of almost like dreamlike state of there's no coherency, or just weird, and they just throw all these images at you,
Like the clowns.
Yeah, like the 3D clowns, or like maybe you'll walk into a room and there's like bodies in burlap sacks or something just hanging around, and the guy with the chainsaw comes out. And that's what this game is. It is a haunted house made into a game. And there's not even really like cohesion between the levels.
Uh-huh.
And it adds to this whole kind of dreamscape sort of feel to it, which I actually really like. Like, the story makes no sense,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I'm super intrigued by it. And I love the fact that all this crazy stuff is happening to my character, and he does not notice and or care at all. He is like, this is a daily routine in my life as a detective.
Oh yeah. I've got to investigate this person.
How are you watching? The screen are you watching?
So anyways.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
good.
the game has technical problems.
Right. I was gonna say it sounds a lot better than I've heard from other people.
What technical problems does it have?
Oh my gosh. So yesterday I was playing, and I went into this room, and there's all these floating candles, and there's a floating bomb, because there's these traps a la like Dark Souls. So you always have to watch when you go. Like, you can't just run through an environment and die. There's a floating bomb, and then there's no walls, and I can see all these other floating platforms. The game is so weird that I was like, is this the game, or is this the game not rendering its environment correctly? And so I went up to one of the walls, and I fell through it, and then I fell through the map, and I was like, well, this is definitely a glitch in the game. And then of course I restarted and went through that same environment, and it showed me actually what it was supposed to look like, and I was like, okay, that's totally glitch. But
This is buggy.
well, that was really the only bug that I've experienced. I've heard other people say that it's crashed on them or whatnot, like on the PS4 and on PC, PC more so. But the biggest things is it has not a good frame rate, especially being that it's not like a graphically superior game by any means. It's on the Tech 5, and a lot of the textures are pretty muddy. I mean, it does the job. Like, the lighting and stuff is nice.
It's also letterbox.
And it is massively letterbox. Like,
Massively letterbox.
it is like a third of your screen is letterbox.
Like an HD TV is of letterbox resolution.
Yeah.
This still has black bars on top and bottom.
Yeah, and they're not small either. They are huge, thick bars.
As if to say, why don't you have a wraparound TV so you can fully immerse yourself into this game?
Yeah, and the problem is too with the black bars is that the camera is really zoomed into your character.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why it's like that.
Well,
Because you need to see around. You know, you need more peripheral.
Maybe. I think it's mostly because the game is a technical mess, and it was just a way for it to run at all.
Yeah.
So it was like, let's shrink the screen down. You know, like back in my old
Usually
Doom days on
that-
PC, where I'd shrink the window to get it run.
I
I
usually
could-
that causes more of a drag when you letterbox it.
Well, it doesn't have to render as much.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
What it is everything that's not on the screen is not rendered at all. And so they just leave it out there, and then you just have floating point stuff that renders.
Yeah.
Not renders, but calculates itself.
And because it's an Intech 5, there's like a lot of texture pop in, so it will actually build the scene as it's like displaying it. Just like a thing with like UE3 and especially Intech 5, this is really bad. But then the other thing is because the camera's pulled in so close, and this is a matter of getting used to. It's not really a problem with me anymore because I've learned to kind of work around it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so when you go into stealth mode, the camera zooms out just a little bit to show your entire character as he crouches down. Your character already eats up like a third of the screen. Now he's eating up like half the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that could be going on right in front of your character and you wouldn't know because the camera is positioned. And then the camera will get stuck on things. But that said, like the more I've played it and the further I've gotten into the game, the more I've really liked it. Like this last chapter I've been on has been really cool. Like it's almost like Arkham Asylum type mission structure, where it's like here's this giant area and you'll know eventually where you can go, but find all the pieces to eventually get there. And it's kind of up to you on like how you approach that, and that's really cool. And yeah, and I do really like the haunted house-ness of it, like that howling, because I love those. I know they're cheesy and super expensive, but oh my gosh, like you put it best last week, is that they're adult fun houses.
Yeah, that's all it is. If you go to a carnival, there's a fun house where it just makes you feel like you're drunk or something. So it's like that, but with scary people in it.
But yeah, I mean, if you are a fan of games that he has done in the past, the ones that I've mentioned, I think you would enjoy it. But it's definitely not a game for everyone. Like if you don't have patience for hard games, or you don't have,
He did it on purpose. He couldn't get a little hard.
he's like,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
show you a hard game. Walks in spikes. If you don't have patience for hard games, or if you just don't have patience for like kind of glitchy or jank,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not gonna like this. But you know, if you can overlook that, there's a really, really good game to be had in there. That's just like super fun.
All right. If you dig your way through it,
Yeah, it's one of those
You
you
might
have to
like it.
you have to work at it to like. But it's you know, I mean I've enjoyed it. I think I feel like it's been worth my money. There's been some good spooky moments in it.
yeah.
no
You also
peak.
like bad haunted houses, though.
No, what, like the Golfland one? Screw that.
Yeah, see?
No, I don't like that.
Is it better than the Golfland haunted house?
It's way better than that. It's like it's like the best of the haunted houses. It's
Okay.
like Fear Farm or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like the one at Phoenix Comic Con. That one's horrible.
There was a haunted house at Phoenix Comic Con?
Oddly, yes.
Why?
No idea. It was free, so whatever.
Alright.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Then I played Diablo and Shadow of Mordor.
Cool. Diablo and Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Same thing as me.
Same thing as everyone.
Same
Copycat.
thing as you.
I copied my bro Brandon. I was like, man, that Brandon, he knows how to play them games.
I
Wrote
don't
it.
play them.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You died.
on that boss. So Aaron died on a boss. Just for people that are listening to the podcast after the fact, he died in the most humiliating way possible.
Wise.
This week I didn't really play much of anything. But again, the week before, our podcast was eaten by
Ghosts
ghosts. Yeah, and there was jealous.
by Rob Zombie.
Yep.
You play something on your phone.
What?
You're on the couch and you're on your phone and you're playing a game.
That's because I was deleting old games and I found one to play.
A shoe gamer. Yes.
I was deleting games I didn't play anymore, and then I found one and I played it, so I was like, I guess I'm keeping
You like
this
cleaning
one.
the closet, you find an old sweater. I
Yeah.
like this sweater, and you put it on.
But yeah, I was playing, the week before that I played The Disappearance of Ethan Carter.
Yeah.
always forget his last name.
That's a gorgeous game.
It is, considering that it was built by a small group of people, it is an extremely well built game. It's I don't really like open world, but this is open world in a way that just makes it feel comfortable. Like you don't feel like you're pressured to go anywhere. You arrive somewhere, and there's a lot of running back and forth because of that, because maybe you didn't end up in the right place or anything. But yeah, it's a really good game, and it's like a puzzle game. It's like an adventure game, but like you have to set the scene of a death in order to communicate with the spirits that were there, to kind of figure out what happened to this person, and it's just the kind of thing where like if you see a mine cart and you see like a patch of dead grass somewhere.
Yeah, you said that last time.
I know, but we
okay.
I slowed it
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it spooky?
Nah, spooky's not the right word.
Just has an atmosphere.
Eerie.
Yeah, I guess eerie is a good word for it.
So it would be safe for Mike.
Yes, it is mic safe.
It's mic friendly.
Mic friendly. It's a mic friendly game.
That's
Mic and for 6-year-olds.
That's what we
That
call
have
mic friendly.
Yeah,
scare
yeah.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, Brandon.
Yeah, I was yeah.
Yeah, so like you have to think outside the box and say, well, that means the minecart has to go in that spot, that kind of thing. It's just a real simple game that I liked. I liked a lot. Like so
That's
far,
nice.
'cause I am in the middle of playing.
Does it have like a really good story and stuff too, or is it mostly just kind of like you have to piece together everything to?
I found it engaging.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's mostly what it is, piecing things together. But I kind of like that anyway.
So what's the gameplay of it? Is it like point and click adventure?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's mostly how it works. Because again, you're just trying to set scenes and things like that.
Yeah.
So you just go and you move things. It's less point and click and more go up and interact with.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that, and then I don't remember if I played anything else. I don't think I did, but I didn't play anything this week. So good job, me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna play something yesterday, but then we set up for this streaming.
Kids.
Business.
Yeah. That's when I brought the PS4 down because I didn't want to interfere. I kind of liked it down in my room.
Yeah. That's oh yeah, that's the other thing I did was I reformatted my PS Vita TV for American.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So does that mean return to Persona 4?
It means the return to Persona 4 Golden.
Nice.
And so that one day I might finally beat the first dungeon.
How far are you? Have you actually played it?
I got back to the first dungeon.
70 hours later.
Third time I've been at this first dungeon.
I believe in you, Josh.
Yeah. That's something else. You'd be the worst playtester.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh my
I
gosh.
would thoroughly playtest the
That's
first
true.
15 minutes of any game. I will play that first
Like,
15
this
minutes.
guy won't go home. And you can't
6
stop
or
passing
7
the first
times.
dungeon.
Yeah.
You should get Sword Art Online.
That's
Oh,
what I'm kind of excited for, is
Really?
to get not Sword Art Online. I was excited for other PS Vita games now that I have the TV, the US version, installed on there. You can log into only one account. I have been logged into my Japanese account where I couldn't really buy anything. I had like $50 in credits, but I still couldn't really buy anything. So now with the American version, I can buy from the American store.
Yep.
That
And they
should
have
be-
a lot of good sales sometimes too.
Yeah,
So you might want to keep an eye out.
I am looking forward to that.
So you've beaten all of the Personas up to...
I beat Persona 1, Persona 2.
You actually
Eternal
did
Punishment.
beat Persona 1?
Yes.
I thought you did.
Or did you watch somebody beat Persona?
You beat the
4?
first dungeon.
Did you
I beat the first
vicariously?
dungeon. No, you know what? I probably didn't beat Persona 1. I'm
So
trying
I
to
mean-
think, because the furthest I can think of is Alice, but Alice is not the last boss. She's just somebody that you go fight inside the forest. I always think that Alice is the last boss, but she's not.
I finished Persona 1.
Yeah.
The original
What's
or
the
the
last
remake?
boss? Was that a spoiler?
I think so.
Oh, okay, never mind. I did do... Yeah, anyway.
Shredder.
And then the Eternal Punishment I beat.
Oh yeah.
In Innocent Sin, I got pretty far in. I got to the Nazis in Innocent Sin.
Well, all these are available via PSN.
Yeah. Man, I love Persona 2. This is the best game.
I'm so excited for Persona 5, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You know what I don't care about?
What's that?
Persona 3.
Yeah?
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah, that
It's
was
good.
I don't know.
I remember.
It's not as good as 4.
Is it as good as 2?
Now,
It's a very different game.
So no.
yeah, three is different because the dungeon, you're in the same dungeon and you get fatigued, so you can't just what you're doing in 4 you can't do in 3. Your teammates would get so fatigued.
Yeah.
You'd have to go and rest.
You just get worse.
Only one of them has Chia Chain.
Why she? She's not even interested.
What? Dude, she likes meat. Oh man,
God.
you are a bone, son.
This is the most disappointing performance I've seen.
I don't have the weapon.
Yeah, whatever.
You don't have the power.
weapon. Yeah, so Persona games. I'm looking forward to those.
Mm-hmm.
Persona 5 anyway,
Oh yeah.
and 4.
I hope that Persona 5 is a standalone story, so I don't feel lost.
Oh, all Personas are standalone
Yeah.
stories.
Okay, that's good.
They've never continued. At most, you'll see like a character or two that continues over to another game. And then even then, you don't really get backstory. It's just like, hey, I used to be a person that did things.
I'm getting pretty pumped for Dragon Age. Holy cow! Despite the ESRB that I discussed earlier, which I will not go into detail on this podcast.
It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game.
I am just not going to pursue romantic relationships.
All right.
So I'll just mimic my real life.
That's
Yeah.
what
Much like Mike's real life.
Dragon Age 1.
A little bit. It wasn't crass though. This is like, I'll tell you afterwards.
Somebody has
I'm
convinced
thinking
me to play Dragon Age 3.
Me?
Not you.
Was it the dialogue?
No.
When you saw that, you're like, that's
Yeah.
hot.
When you were like, here's this perverted dialogue, I was like, it's about time. It's about time. I wanted to play pornographic video
It's
games.
unbelievable that there are professional writers that write that and put it in a game. It's just, man.
That's because nobody knows how to write romance if they're writing for a video game.
Yeah, romance in games is always garbage.
Yeah, well, like Final Fantasy VIII was pretty alright.
No, I
Thank you.
reiterate.
You're welcome, Brandon. That was for you,
The
buddy.
romance in the first Mass Effect wasn't bad.
I don't know.
It wasn't bad.
I didn't get any romance.
It wasn't bad in Mass Effect 2. It was really bad in 3.
How do you have time for romance when you're trying to save the world?
You
That's
know,
what I deal with.
The first time I played Mass Effect 1, I like got to the end of the game and I was like, where's that scene that they always show in the trailers? And it turned out that I just totally skipped it. And then Heavy Rain, there's like a love scene in that. But it happens at a point where your character is just, he did something horrific. Or at least I had him do something horrific. And then like Madison, the girl, she's like coming on to him. And I was kind of like role playing as the character. And I was like, if I was this dude and I just did the thing that I just did, I would not be in the mood. So I turned her down. So my guy was,
Alright, sorry.
yeah.
Role
He was
playing
just
here.
like, I'm going to bed. And she's just like, all right.
I'm going to bed. I just did some horrible stuff.
Yeah.
He did some bad stuff. I made him do some bad stuff.
I made him do horrible things.
I put myself in his position.
And
I really got into that game.
Mike put himself in this position, and he was like, if I was this person, I would do these really horrible things.
If, I'll tell you
That's
after
what
the
he's saying,
podcast,
bro.
because
Alright.
I don't want to spoil it.
Alright.
It was just like, in the mindset of a father,
Uh-huh.
and the thing that I had to do.
Uh-huh. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not the hand, it's something else.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I was just like, I feel like I would do this because I was desperate. and so after that scene, Madison like comes over and she's like, hey, what's up, honey? And I was like, no. Not in the mood.
No, thank you.
Not in the
No,
mood.
thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna pick up Dragon Age 3.
Dragon Age 3.
Yeah. So Michael, be happy?
I am. I am like, oh my gosh, they did a stream of it today on Twitch for this same charity event. And oh man, the combat and stuff just looks so good. I'm so excited. It's a little weird that there is no healing spell in it, but I think.
How do you heal?
Potions. It's all about like buffs and debuffs. So the ways to mitigate damage is they want you to use a little bit more tactical strategy instead of just like I'll just have like the dedicated healer to stand back and heal, spam heals.
So it's like playing any Dungeons and Dragons video game.
Yeah, I guess they don't really have like dedicated healers.
I mean, they do if you have a cleric, but who puts a cleric in there?
Yeah. Who puts a white wizard in their Final Fantasy party? Come on.
Oh.
All red mages.
I was like, what? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dragon Age. I am very excited about that, man. It looks like a return to form.
Return to form, which was not to. No, not a form that you want to be at.
No.
So yeah, again, last week's podcast was eaten, and that's too bad because it was a really good podcast.
Maybe the best because I was the host.
Never
There you
mind.
go. Good catch. Sorry.
Oh.
Last
Yep, that's
last
the one.
podcast was eaten.
Yep,
Continue.
eaten. But we did have a question that we answered and addressed. So let's answer and address it again. This time, recorded in bad audio because we're getting it from this camera over here, which really, surprisingly, picks up a lot of audio. But I digress. It was just a talk about the Shadow of Mordor advertising campaign that came out. So Shadow of Mordor, WB had a PR company, not PR that works for them, but they outsourced some PR, and that company talked to YouTubers, and they said, YouTuber, would you like to play the game early? The only way you can get an early copy is if you agree to make this a brand deal. And so what that means is they had to find no fault with the game, praise the Nemesis system, and they had to have a call to action, they called it. If you were streaming like this, they needed 3 calls to action where you say, go buy this game. And if you were recording on YouTube, you needed 1 call to action where you asked somebody to, you told your viewers to buy the game and how great it was.
They wanted to buy you.
Well, because it's a brand deal. That's what you do in a brand deal anyway, generally. But they were only giving the game out to people early if they did it that way. And that's the deal. That's the bigger deal part of it, is that, even reviewers of YouTube sites, they said, look, we can give it to you early if you do this brand deal. And, because not everybody's a Let's Player. It's not like they just want to play the game, so review the games. And it seems weird to get a review copy with the caveats of saying, you can't review this, you have to like it.
Yeah. It's shady.
Yeah. So it was mostly just what we thought about that.
And with the game being as good as it is, kind of just hurt it.
That's the thing.
It's
Is
unnecessary.
that it's the kind of game that doesn't need that kind of PR.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it just makes people second guess their favorite YouTubers.
And the people that actually accepted something like this, they probably should second guess those YouTubers, because I think you really need to be able to put your trust in a YouTuber as far as their opinion goes.
I don't know about that. I mean, look, a brand deal should be clearly labeled as a brand deal.
That's true.
Where you've been paid to play something.
That's what I'm saying, is that I think YouTubers should have to feel like they need to be honest to their viewers and disclose that kind of thing. Well,
yeah, the disclosure, but it's not like they're journalists. It's not like they have a code of ethics.
People have that stuff for a reason.
Yeah, they do have a responsibility to their viewers, at least on a trust issue. So you know, that's one of the things. Like I've been, I used to follow the fighting game community, the Street Fighter, and you know, there was a lot of guys that would sit there and rag on a game or a company, and all of a sudden their next YouTube show would be like, oh, all of a sudden this game is amazing or whatever, and they're like promoting it, and it's so clearly obvious that, you know, they have a sponsor or whatever, but they're not disclosing it, and it's just kind of like, well, why should I believe you, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't like trust them at that point, and I would actually stop following them.
Yeah, and it happens a lot. Like Machinima got in trouble for that recently too, with what was it, Xbox or Microsoft or something?
Yeah, it was.
Where they weren't disclosing the fact that, hey, they're paying us to promote these things, because there was a specific clause that said that they could not disclose that they were doing a paid promotion.
See, that is crazy.
Which is lying.
That I want to say that's.
This was
illegal,
before.
isn't it?
This was before any of that.
Well, that's essentially lying, withholding information,
Yeah.
pretending to come off as opinion rather than just like this is what they want me to say.
That is
Okay.
definitely like sets a really bad precedent for that kind of like PR or like form of advertising, because it's like it's shady and dishonest on so many levels.
Yeah, and it's you know, I think of it as not older, but that these PR companies, some of these PR companies are not as trustworthy, or they don't quite understand what it is. Like I get the feeling that these are like younger, that older companies are tapping into to run their PR deals like that, because they think that because they're younger, because they're new, that they'll know what to do, when they obviously don't know what to do. They're not being scrupulous. The PR company that comes up with that idea is not. They're just thinking about money.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, and it's like there was recently Polaris, which is a big network on YouTube, the biggest video game network there is, was coming up with an indie show where they were doing a game jam, and they had a bunch of indie developers together, and they were gonna have them make these games. They were gonna make it kind of like a game show. And as development went on, there was more and more reality TV show stuff being shoved into it. And somehow, somebody from like a third-party PR company started becoming like second director. And he was like, you know, if you have water, it needs to be in a Mountain Dew can, because Mountain Dew is the sponsor, and you can't drink anything with Mountain Dew. And it's like the prizes they would win were like, 24-pack of Mountain Dew. That's going to help you in this game jam. As Brandon drinks from his Diet Mountain Dew.
Don't believe Brandon, he's a shell.
Don't believe his lies.
Guys, you ever thirsty? I wonder, man, I need some gamer fuel.
Is that your gamer fuel of choice?
That is.
It is.
No,
it is your poison of choice.
Mountain Dew has a brand called Gamer Fuel.
Oh,
Yep.
They actually do.
that's
It was
ridiculous.
Halo was the first one.
That's
This
ridiculous.
boss is
Killing you.
he's a real jerk. So, anyways, yeah, it's just might as well at that point. You have like $1 billion lives.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing devolved because of the second director, who was from one of these third-party PR companies, and it's just like they don't understand the demographic. They understand the power behind it, and their thought to use it is just to be dishonest, because we're in advertising, and it's not like we're honest anyway. Whereas like that's not the way to approach
Like
YouTube.
maybe that might have worked back in the day before the internet.
Right.
But now that we have access to all this information, and it's just can't
it's-
keep that sort of thing a secret.
It's
Yeah.
just like taking advantage so much too of like the enthusiasm of the YouTuber, because it's just like, oh hey, we'll give you this swag. They don't even necessarily will give them money. Sometimes it'll just be like loot or something, you know. It's like, hey, you'll get the Evil Within early, free.
And here's a statue.
And here's a statue of Sebastian. Just say a few nice things about him.
Sebastian from Little Mermaid.
From Little Mermaid. Under the sea. Anyways,
Who's
It's-
also a vampire? Vaseline.
but I mean, it really is like a responsibility at this point for the YouTuber to disclose that stuff, and it is also for the viewer to be aware of it and to call it out if it happens. You know? Because, like I've said, there's already been some people who I've lost respect for that I used to follow in the FGC that just became such obvious shills. And it's just like, whatever, you know.
I mean, it's an issue anywhere, really. But
Oh, yeah.
mostly on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just such an easy thing for PR to prey on because, you know, like enthusiast press these days, you know, are a lot more resistant to it. And so they won't get the types of coverage that some of these studios want.
Yeah.
But then, like the YouTuber, where you know they don't have any kind of like journalistic integrity or code or anything that they have to follow by.
Yeah.
They're just in it for like the swag, and you know they're excited to be there, and it's super exciting that these companies are talking to them.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, even maybe if it's not even on a conscious level for them, it's just like an unconscious where it's just, hey, wow, you know, cool, these guys sent me this, and now I'm like super excited about it. And,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like it's just lazy PR, you know. It
Yeah.
really is. That's the thing that probably just bugs me the most.
It just speaks to, if they do that to a game that's legitimately good, it just makes it seem like they're desperate for good PR for the game.
Yeah. Even though they don't need to be desperate because they'll get good PR.
It's definitely a lack of faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And again, it's mostly the third-party PR companies. They don't have any faith because they were just hired to get the word out.
Yeah, they don't even know anything about the game or anything. They just want to make sure that they get their bonus because it has a good Metacritic score. So.
Yeah. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we should just
That is.
write Metacritic.
Oh,
Good luck.
boy, what I love, man.
Or they work on commission. You can get 3 good reviews.
But no, that's actually that's completely true. Like back in the like GFW radio podcast, they exposed that. They were the ones that really blew the lid off that PR guys, their jobs depend on Metacritic scores, which is ridiculous because what does the PR guy have to do with how good the game is? You know, they didn't make the game.
Yeah.
But the company, the studio, or the publisher will go to the PR and they'll be like, well, why didn't EGM get like this many screenshots? Did you tell them about this gun that you get, or did you tell them about, you know, this special level that you can unlock or whatever? And it's like, it's broken thinking. It's like it's not the PR fault, but then at the same time, it's like then PR will turn around and just use this really lazy. Oh man, this is shameful. Lazy method of just like generating hype by taking advantage of these YouTubers.
Yeah.
So I think we're all in agreement. That's a good thing.
Yep. More PR companies being jerkholes. More of that.
What we're saying is that we want to be those YouTubers.
Yes.
What we're saying is we are for sale. We have
Every time!
So what's going on here for those who are listening? There's like a submarine thing with a vacuum, and Mega Man's fighting him on these platforms that are divided by spikes, and the vacuum keeps sucking Aaron into the pit of spikes and one shot killing poor Mega Man.
I was gonna say, let's not blame Mega Man here. This is obviously Aaron's fault.
This isn't even a boss.
No. It's just some guy.
It's a mini boss.
This is just a bro, man. This is a normal enemy.
I'm gonna review my options here.
Mm-hmm. Probably that one. Probably good.
This is gonna get Capcom a lower score on Metacritic when Aaron reviews this.
Yeah, Aaron's gonna be like, vacuum guy is too hard.
Look at that!
Look at you waste your boomerangs.
I'm gonna come back.
Oh.
It's only if they hit the enemies that they go away.
Oh. That's the greatest weapon in all of Mega Man.
No. Metal Man Buzzsaw's greatest weapon in all of Mega Man.
Over. Yeah, it is actually
Yeah.
the strongest weapon I've ever seen in a Mega Man
Yeah.
game.
Notice they have never reprinted that.
Yeah.
Ever.
We printed it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah. Been playing games all day.
They've never reprinted that Mega Man card.
Yeah.
Buzzsaw, Metal Buzzsaw. It's not turning legal anymore.
It is not. Nope. They
Nope.
banned it after Mega Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can only play it in legacy format.
Mm-hmm. You can only play it when Pharaoh Man is used in the game. So, that's a podcast, right?
How long has it been?
I have no idea.
Like 4 hours.
Main thing I forgot to do was look at the time before we started.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what time it even is.
Yeah, it's probably 1 in the morning right now.
Probably.
Well, yeah,
Dude,
No.
it's 11:30.
it's 8:30.
No way.
8:30.
Holy crap.
Don't listen to him.
That's 8:30.
Oh, okay. You scare me, Mike.
I told you. Why would you believe Mike over me? Hmm?
Well, he was looking at a watch and you weren't.
I know, but I'm really good.
Hey, our friend Chase is watching the stream.
Oh no.
Shout out to
So Chase, we're neighbors now.
Time to shut down the podcast.
You know what I mean.
Oh.
Talk later.
Yeah, so that's the podcast. Again, we do this every week, released on Monday to iTunes under Game Rushmore. Can be found at GameRushmore.onsouthernroad.com. We have a Twitter account at Game Rushmore.
This guy tweets
Not much.
No, he doesn't.
not much. He retweets Chess the Cheetah.
Chester Cheetah.
Yeah, he does
Chester
retweet a lot of Chester Cheetah. That's mostly what I get from Aaron. What else we got?
Well, Extra Life.
Oh yeah, Extra Life.
Yeah,
Check out
the whole reason why we're doing this.
Yeah.
new good stuff coming from Game Rushmore.
Yeah. Also donate to www.extra-life.org/participant/Game Rushmore.
Are we going to be playing any more games tonight on the stream, or are we done?
It's up to you guys.
We can play Towerfall. We can play any
We should do some.
five-player
We
game.
should do some Towerfall.
Towerfall.
Yeah.
Towerfall. Let's play
And then we
Towerfall.
can put Brandon up to the PT challenge.
Like
Round
the
2.
PC.
Round 2 of the PT challenge.
I'll break the system, right?
Anyway, this podcast will be going up on iTunes like normal. I
Hopefully.
apologize again for the sound quality because I'm sure it is going to be crappy.
How dare you? How
Excuse me.
dare you do this to our listeners?
You're crappy.
Excuse me. Look,
I'm
I
sorry,
tried.
guys.
I tried.
This guy.
All right, so that's it for
I'm
the
about to
podcast.
fight Launch Octopus.
Uh-oh.
The best named octopus in all of video games.
Alright.
All right.
This is before he became
So
Octopus.
now on to video games and streaming. End of podcast.